Timeout. Let's see what the Knicks do offensively. They isolate Jackson to back Paxson into the paint.
I like that because Mark Jackson is about 6'3", 6'4". He has the advantage over Paxson. I always felt that Mark Jackson's toughest shot was that little floating half hook in the lane. So I like that strategy to go at John Paxson a little bit inside.
Paxson's first foul of the ball game. While we watch the free throws, I'll remind you this program's authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Now, Bob, one thing that we've seen early in the ball game with Pat Riley, in Los Angeles, he had a veteran team. He did not take as many timeouts. He thought that his veteran players could play through the excitement of the crowd. With this team, he uses more timeouts. The minute Chicago tied the game, he took a quick timeout.
Jordan gets past Wilkins, the fadeaway. Rattles home. The Bulls started 1 of 9 from the field, have now hit their last 6 field goal attempts. On Chicago, Scottie Pippen.
That's going to be what, his second foul? He got one on the double team.
Correct.
So that's his second foul. That's something we have to keep our eye focused on because Chicago cannot lose Jordan or Pippen. You can talk about any other players out on the floor, but those two guys are basically the heart and soul of everything Chicago wants to do offensively and defensively as Cliff Levingson's getting ready to check in.
Knicks are going to make some changes too. Jackson and Wilkins go out, and in come Starks and Anthony. Greg Anthony, the rookie from UNLV, and John Starks, one of the surprises of the league, has played very, very well against Chicago and has played well in the playoffs against Detroit. Starks wears number 3. Anthony wears number 2.
Pat Riley likens John Starks to a younger Michael Cooper, except he feels like he has a better upside offensively. Feels like defensively he can start giving some of that rangy defense that Cooper used to always give. Trouble.
Jordan misses the jumper on the wing.
When New York did a good job getting back quickly enough to prevent a layup, forced the jump shot.
Tied at 16. Starks whacks Paxson and then drains the jumper.
Very streaky offensive player. There's a technical foul, I think, on Paxson.
Well, Paxson thought Starks had put his shoulder into it and knocked him down. Ed T. Rush with the tee, and Starks will shoot it for the Knicks.
Ed T. Rush with a T. You think his middle name is technical?
Former coach, you'd know that better than me. Did he ever call one on you?
Oh, he got a lot on me.
There you go. I think from now on it will be Ed Technical Rush.
John Paxson, pretty good defense there. Thought that John Starks had lowered his left shoulder, did not get the call, and Starks buried the open jump shot. John Starks, again now, very streaky offensive player. Hit 8 3-pointers against Chicago this year at Madison Square Garden.
Tremendous athlete. He was in the slam dunk competition in Orlando this year. 3-point Knicks lead, 2:32 to go, first quarter. Bulls with 5 to shoot. 4. Rebound Ewing. His 7th.
Well, they're doing a good job on the defensive boards, giving Chicago no second, third opportunities. There's Starks. Remember, he can bury these threes.
Not this time. Off Chicago, New York ball. 2:08 to go in the first.
Chicago loves to jump on you in the first quarter. I think with about 2:08 remaining, Pat Riley has to feel very good right now. The fact this team has a 3-point lead and the tempo of the game is good. Chicago in the 4 games against New York has averaged 31 points a game in the first quarter. They're sitting on 16 right now with 2:08 to go.
B.J. Armstrong checks in. B.J. Armstrong, remember, had his career playoff high last year against these Knicks. He likes to play New York. Been some slipping on this floor, and Starks looks like he hurt his right knee. Let's hope it's a bruise.
Oh, I don't know if he twisted it. Boy, oh boy, this would be a horrible loss for New York. I don't know if he twisted it or hit it on the floor. It looked like he hit a slick spot over there. You know, Pat Ewing just had fallen down over there.
You know what the story here is? You and I are very familiar with this, you more than me from coaching here. The Blackhawks, the Chicago NHL team, are still in the NHL playoffs. There is ice under here and condensation forms on the floor.
Oh, you see Starks go down. And also, too, remember Ewing had just fallen there on the last offensive rebound. Let's watch it to see if it's a twist. Oh, there he goes. Ooh. Oh, that does not look good.
He is walking it off and is electing to stay in the game, and let's hope that's good news.
Well, that's, for New York, they must have John Starks. He's a tremendous defender. He's a streaky offensive player that we talked about, and he's a guy that at least you can put out there against Michael Jordan and have some speed and quickness up against him. You cannot ask Gerald Wilkins to play 48 minutes against Michael Jordan, so we'll have to keep our eye on John Starks to see what happens the rest of the way.
Speaking of the Blackhawks being in the NHL playoffs, Chicago is Sports Central. The White Sox and the Cubs are home this week. The Knicks and Bulls play here on Tuesday and Thursday. And, of course, the Blackhawks will be in this arena tomorrow night playing against the Red Wings in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
It looks like Starks is moving pretty well. They're going to go right to Michael in the post, though. They're going to find out exactly how good that knee is.
10 to shoot for Chicago. Knicks showing tenacious defense in this first quarter. 3.
B.J. Armstrong
2.
wants to spot up for that shot. There's a block.
That's a violation. It'll be the Knicks ball.
Phil Jackson unhappy, feeling that there was a double team on Michael before, or that there was an illegal defense against Michael Jordan before the play started. I did not see it. I thought the Knicks were in pretty good position that time.
Ewing has 7 rebounds and 2 blocks early in this game to go with his only 2 points.
Well, see, the one thing Patrick Ewing do, though, he can influence the game rebounding and defense. It doesn't just have to be scoring.
Jordan fouls Starks. The Bulls have been held to 16 points in the first quarter with 1:29 remaining. Certainly a Knicks kind of pace, but I keep reminding folks of the first quarter effort against Miami that the Bulls had, and then the explosion happened.
They are a team of streaks and spurts, Bob. I think they're probably the best team since the '83 Philadelphia 76ers to put 5 minutes of defense on you and then go on to a 14-0 or a 12-2 spurt where they hit you with a 10 or 12 point run. So being close with them, you've got to be very, very careful to not let them hit you with a spurt.
Will Perdue checks in for Cartwright for the final 1:29 of the first quarter.
Now, it's going to be very interesting. Very few times have I seen Chicago play this year at this stretch of the game without Pippen or Jordan, at least one of them being on the floor. Basically, the whole second unit with Grant is on the floor right now. Let's see if they can score.
B.J. Armstrong hits the jumper. Technical foul on Phil Jackson before the jumper. Wave it away, and Starks will shoot it.
Well, I think that these referees are going to say we're not going to take anything tonight. Phil was unhappy to play down the floor before. He was talking to Eddie Rush. Eddie Rush hits him with the tee. Paxson had said something early. He got a tee. And remember, Oakley got a flagrant foul early in the game. So they're trying to keep the pressure and the intensity of this game within the rules and not let it get out of hand.
James Donaldson comes in for Patrick Ewing. Starks has hit 6 straight points off the bench for the Knicks. They lead by 6 with 1:15 to go in the quarter.
Again, let's watch this team Chicago has on the floor. No Pippen, no Jordan.
It's Hodges, Armstrong, Livingston, Perdue, and Grant.
Normally Scottie Pippen's into the second unit, and he really stabilizes him, but he has 2 fouls.
Perdue is fouled by Starks as he drives into the lane. Let's see the team foul situation. Both teams are in the penalty. Perdue will go to the free throw line.
Will has struggled there all season long. I think, what is he, a 49% free throw shooter on the year?
On the year, he's 63% in the playoffs, up some.
Now 495 on the season, 45 for 91.
See, they're 1992, 69. He's actually 69% from the line. When he was at Vanderbilt, he was about a 75% free throw shooter. It's interesting the change.
I don't know if it's like a pitcher in baseball. Pitchers used to be your best hitters in Little League. They get in the big league, they can't hit anything. They start focusing in on other things like pitching and not worrying about hitting. I wonder if Will has worked on so many other phases of the game that he's gotten away from his free throw shooting.
Certainly did there. 22-16 Knicks, under a minute to go. First quarter. Donaldson at 7-2.
That's no basket. That's going to be an offensive foul
on Donaldson.
Watch the right arm now. He gets back, Will back down in there right there with a push-off. He pushed Will's arm off. That's a good call. See, both teams really both coaches going to the benches here early.